Christine Ritterkoff. I'm one of the facilitators that works with homeschooling families here at the. And today I'd like to talk to you about choosing your learning resources, so the books, materials, programs that you're going to use in home educating your children. In talking about this, for this video, I'm going to address the most common approach that with families that I work with, and that is using at least some prepared subject-specific resources for grades K to 9. So high school is a whole other topic, and unschooling is a whole other topic, and we won't be getting into those here today. When you start looking around for your materials, one thing to keep in mind right off the bat is to think about your educational philosophy. So if you're drawn to, say, classical or Charlotte Mason or project-based learning or something else like that, that will definitely narrow the field as to which resources you might want to use. Don't worry if you don't have an educational philosophy or if you don't know what yours might be. Just look at programs that are interesting to you. And being aware that there are different approaches, and that might explain some of the differences that you might see as you're comparing programs. So language arts and math, so your reading, writing, and arithmetic, your good old 3 R's, are the skill-based subjects. And these ones build the skills from year to year as your child progresses. They are building on the skills that they've already learned. So for this reason, it usually makes sense to have an individual plan and individual resources for each child. For all other areas of learning, I strongly suggest that you consider combining your children. Social studies and science are content-based subjects, and they do not build on each other from year to year to nearly the same extent. It really doesn't matter at what age your child learns about a certain topic. For example, if they learn about rocks and minerals when they're 6 or 8 or 10 or 12. If they are older or younger than the Alberta curriculum might dictate, we do not have to follow the Alberta curriculum as parent-directed home educating families. Your children will benefit from having some shared learning. They can collaborate and discuss with their siblings. It's a common reference point for your whole family. Choose a topic that interests you, that you or your kids are passionate about. That really adds a spark to learning. The older children will learn more and in greater depth than the younger ones. And there are several ways that you might consider extending the learning for the older kids as you're studying one topic as a family together. You might add more reading for them, viewing of videos, doing some independent research on the topic. You might ask for longer or more detailed assignments. For example, your oldest student might write a report on the topic. Your younger one might write a paragraph, and the littlest might just write a sentence or even draw a picture. There are excellent programs designed to be used for a range of ages, and these are super easy to use because those adaptations for different ages have already been done for you. For example, many unit studies are set up to work this way. And also, I'd just like to point out that you don't need to separate out each individual subject. In the real world, there's a lot of overlap, and it's a bit of an artificial division to talk about all these separate subjects because learning overlaps into many different areas. I'd also like to point out that you don't need to purchase a program for every student for every subject. For grades from early learning kindergarten up through about grades 2 or 3, I suggest focusing on learning to read and on math. Those are the foundations for all the future learning that your child will do. And at these young ages, they are still learning so much from daily life, from play, from exploration of the world around them, from discussions with adults and other people. You do not need to plan out a whole formal plan for each subject for these young children. They will be just learning through their daily life. As you get a little bit further into elementary, you could add some science and social studies with a casual interest-based approach where there's no purchase required. And one way, I'll sort of frame out one way you might go about this. So your child or children pick a topic that they're interested in. Maybe they're really into dolphins, or they want to learn more about life in China or ancient Egypt. Get a stack of books from the library. either by going in person or by taking advantage of interlibrary loan and requesting a whole bunch of options. Pick out of this stack, pick a few to read. Watch some related videos or documentaries. Do some kinds of hands-on project, perhaps. The older kids might do some assisted or independent research on the topic. And then you might have an end of topic, end of unit wrap-up project. Something like doing a poster, a digital slideshow, a diorama, a craft, or a report. And then just repeat that for the next topic that comes your way. As your children get into junior high age, you might want to use a structured program at this point, or you might encourage them to do a deep dive into some subjects that they are really passionate about. This is a great age for going deep. As you go further into your shopping and research for your materials, I really recommend that you look for materials that are designed for home education. They usually work best. When you come across workbooks at Chapters, Costco, the dollar store, and so on, they usually assume that the child has been taught the material already, and they are more of a review and a test prep, extra practice, that kind of thing. So they are often limited in the teaching aspect, and they might move quickly from one topic to the next. They're generally not going to be a full program. You can definitely find some good materials that can be a good part of your home education experience there. However, you'll find materials that are custom made for home education at online homeschool supply stores, and there's also a physical store in Calgary that you can visit. These types of materials are directed to the students themselves, and don't assume that they've already received classroom instruction on this material. As you're proceeding on with your research, if you know other homeschoolers, ask if you can come visit. Look through the materials that they have. They often, if they've been doing it for a while, they probably have a whole bookshelf full of things that they've either tried and discarded or perhaps used and they've just moved on from now. Take a look through, ask them what they liked or disliked about different materials. You might be able to attend a local used curriculum sale, or go to a convention to get your hands on some materials. Look at reviews, such as Kathy Duffy reviews. Then once you've sort of surveyed the field, narrow your scope a little bit, pick 2 or 3 that appeal to you and do a little bit more research. A good way to get some more details about a program you're looking at is to visit the publishers' websites, and there you can find free samples often, placement tests, tables of contents, the scope and sequence of what exactly this program covers, and more information about the style and the approach that it has. Some questions to consider. What is the worldview of this material? Is it important to you if it has a Christian worldview, a different faith worldview, a secular worldview? Is there much hands-on or multisensory content to it, or is it largely book work? Either one can work well, depends on your child. Is it heavy or light with the teacher prep and involvement? With younger children, your involvement as a parent is going to be pretty heavy, but as the children get older, the programs may vary as to how much your time and attention is required. Is it heavy or light on the amount of reading that's required? Again, either might be good, depends on the child. The cost of the program is certainly a practical concern, and also the cost per year of use. So some materials you might be able to reuse in future years with other children, and others are consumable. Does the material appeal to you, the parent-teacher? You're going to be using it, it's important that you like it. And of course, does it appeal to and suit your child? As you're shopping and researching, if you have questions about this, by all means contact your facilitator for some advice and help. Then go ahead and make your choice, knowing that it may be imperfect. You might end up with a program that you really love and enjoy. But sometimes it's hard to know if a given material will be a good fit for you, until you get it into your home and start using it. So it's not at all uncommon to have to switch gears partway through the year. We facilitators certainly understand that. It can be a little discouraging and disappointing, but it's better to make that change than to struggle through the year with material that's just not a good fit. Happy researching and happy shopping.